Good morning. I hope all of you had a great weekend. It was a Friday and Saturday. We really had about 3 weeks worth of conditions that produced a lot of rain, and then it culminated Saturday on that front that was supposed to break out and cause tornadoes all over the Central Plains. Very, very slow moving. It streamed or trained up from Texas, and we got 3.5 inches of rain officially here in Wichita. So the moisture, there are no moisture problems in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and Colorado has gotten a lot of moisture too. So I think the forecast for the hard red winter wheat crop to be 16% greater than last year's is right on track. Down south, there's screened-in porches and covered porches, and a lot of life in the slow lane. I can remember sitting under the eaves watching rain and showers and storms roll through, and I think I caught about 2 inches of their 3.5 inches that Saturday, just sitting on the back porch watching steady rains with punctuated by heavy downpours as the thing goes. So it was a good weekend. The weeds will be growing everywhere, including my yard, when things start to dry out. So life on the southern plains, moisture-wise, has improved a great deal. Okay, there's not a lot going on news-wise. If you look at the equity markets, Japan's was up, and Germany's was barely up, and the rest of the markets were lower around the globe. Our E-mini was off 4 points when I took a look at it this morning. So we have a B in the financials, volume-wise and TPO-wise. If you do the split, we have a double distribution down, and we have probably pretty good selling up here against the buck. We're at 27.5 right now, so we'll put our first sell 31 to 03, just leaning against resistance. I don't expect a lot to go on this morning. It's pretty quiet, and there's not a lot of news to drive things. Today's news in the United States is limited to the housing market index at 57. The overnight news had Japan's industrial production was forecast at plus 0.3%, came in at minus 0.8. Their tertiary industrial production was forecast at minus 0.5%, came in at minus 1%. Switzerland's retail sales were forecast at minus 2%, came in minus 2.8. So the numbers overnight economically, continue to show economic contraction. I don't expect that to change. We've got a B down here, so I'm going to open it up. We're going to put 17 to 21 as buy 1, and then 9 to 13 is buy 2. And I think the first trade is a sell against the buck, just given structure in the overnight selling, the double distribution down. No more reason than that. Now, we've got this break right here at 28.5. If we can't get above 28.5, 28.29 holds, then we're going to have to get short at a lower level. Most of the news over the weekend, given the lack of hard news, centered on what's next for Greece. And depending on whose articles you read, 30 days from May the 5th, June the 5th is the next one because of the next payment to the IMF. I mean, it's hard to say, but Greece is getting roped into a tighter and tighter, smaller and smaller corner, and they don't have the cash flow. They don't, if they're going to get through this crisis, they're going to give, and it's pretty difficult for me to see them, if they want cash flow and they want to keep the current situation as is, not acquiescing, doing exactly what Germany says. Okay, we got this break at 4. We're at 30, so 3 to 7. That's just leaning against the first resistance point. No different than that. And then I'm going to make it 15 to 19. We have had very little trouble getting to our second levels, but the next place that you'd look would be 12. So I'm going to put a question mark at 12. On the buy side, we had this breakout at 18, 19, so 21 to 17, because we are dealing with two Bs, will be buy 1. And then 5 to 9 will be buy 2. The knob spread is coming in, and that should give us more pressure to the downside. There's two plays in the 30-year. Knob spread, expansion, contraction, and then just outrights, higher or lower. And probably the safest way to play it is in the knob spread. And that's why institutions play it that way. Don't have as big a gains as you do in the outrights, but you don't have the risk either. And it's a place where you can let your fundamental idea work for you. Okay, gold is higher. Everybody's attributing the strength in gold to coming Greek default. Last rotate up stopped at 29. The spill was from 28. So 28 to 30, sell 1. Got a low volume number up here at 35.60, 35 to 37, sell 2. On the buy side, 20 to 21. 22, excuse me. And obviously we got to get through 25 to get there. And then back to very, very comfortable in this 15 to 17 area. Gold is up for the right reasons, in my opinion. Fear about what's going on internationally with every central bank on the same page. You know, ultimately all markets are politics, and here you have central banks tasked with, ours anyway, maintaining full employment and keeping inflation under control, which are cross-purpose goals if you think about them. And they're all trapped in the same situation, and they're all directed by those that lead their countries. And a politician doesn't really care about the future or anything else. He just wants to maintain his current position, doing whatever it is that he's doing right now. And they fight like hell to get it. So if you're a central bank, you really do get dictated to by your the political party that's in power. There's no way you can get around it. So ultimately, all markets are politics. Hard to accept, but it's the truth. Okay, we're at 1410. 1450 held like we thought it might over the weekend. We made it down to 1375. So, and right here we are at 1410. London stopped at 30, so 25 to 35, sell 1. 45 to 55, sell 2. It's just leaning against resistance. On the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 97. I'm going to put it at 75 to 85, lean against support. Don't see, maybe a 1350 market to 1450, and then our 1350 plus or minus for buy 2. Okay, crude oil this weekend. Not a lot going on. Haven't read any more out of the Middle East on what's going on in Yemen. Has Saudi Saudi Arabia crossed the border in an outright invasion? Didn't see any supposition on when and if they would do that. Crude oil is holding above 60. So 60-50, 60 even to 60-50 is support. And I'd have to make 60-50 to 62 as resistance. So that's where we are right now. So 50 to 75, sell 1. 62, 62 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, 50 to 75. And then 60 to 60 and a quarter. Trading range. Definitely a seller, 60 to 62.50. Definitely a buyer, 60 to 60.50. That's your $2 to $3 trading range that crude normally gets into. Okay, Chuck had questions today about a dollar difference, $1.15 in contract prices. June goes off the board on the 20th. Last trading day. The institutions will begin to roll today to the July contract. We rolled on Friday. That's what Chris had it set up. Be he right or be he wrong. So we got into it early. So the back month is usually going into expiration $1.15, give or take, above the expiring month. And so that explains the difference in prices. Okay, everybody expects the E-mini is on course to make a new contract high and to close higher than it has ever happened before. The same for the Dow, the same for the NASDAQ. I don't see anything technically that you could argue against that with. Fundamentally, the news usually comes in lower than forecast. So we are drifting higher. We don't have a short element in the market. So right now, looking at it, you got a seller at 20. We had a breakout at 11 and 12. So first buy is in the 10 to 12 area. We're dealing with a B, but we had a P before that. So maybe a little lower. I don't see the market breaking. And then 5 to 7 for buy 2. On the sell side, 19 to 21. I think if we get through 20, we're going to go get stops above 25, then 24, 26 for sell 2. Nothing here that says the market's going to break out today news-wise. Overnight, nor in the United States, the housing index is at 57. I doubt if anybody will trade that number. The financials will be focused on the direction of the E-mini, and the E-mini, the stock markets were mixed overnight, so that would lead me to think that we have a trading range setting up in the E-mini today. Take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. I will be back with you as soon as I can. In the meantime, good trading.
Your line is now muted.